had the idea to do it and said I was going to do it, you had a lot of people that were like, and rightfully, because, you know, people don't know when there isn't an example of things happening really in a successful way. They don't know what to think. People were like, I don't think that's going to work. I think that sounds like a terrible idea. Let's watch this fail. And you guys were like, nope, nope, we got you. We got you. It's not going to fail. We're going to love it. So I will be eternally, profusely thankful to you for that, because it really means the world to me. And I was okay if it was just a passion project of mine that didn't really catch on, but you guys made sure that it did catch on, and I'm so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I wrote Evermore, the album that we are currently in the middle of. We're in the Evermore era, an album which I adore and I'm very proud of. And that's an album that I wrote during the pandemic. It was the second one that I wrote in the pandemic, and we didn't really know what the future was of live music at that time, as you probably remember. And so I kind of had to just block it out and just not think about it, because the idea of not getting to do this with you was really just like too much. Just couldn't think about it. So I just actively didn't think about it and made music and put out albums and connected with you in whatever ways that I could. But there was one song, you guys, there was one song that when I wrote it I was like, oh man, I really, 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 really wish I could play Champagne Problems live. Do you want to? Of live music and the future of us getting to be in a room together and sing together, have you do such spontaneous, beautiful things like putting up your phone lights in that song, which I did not expect. It was so gorgeous of you to do that. And maybe the 5 years that I was spending not doing this with you and not getting to be in a room with you, maybe that's why this tour has become my entire personality, and like all that is hanging out with you. Oh, my in-ears are gone again. It's gone. They're totally gone. I wonder what's gonna happen now. Should I tell jokes? Okay, so a cat walks into a library, and the cat says, yes, I'll have some tuna fish, please. And the lady counter says, sir, this is a library. And the cat says, oh, I'm sorry, I'll have some tuna fish, please. I'm so sorry. My ears are back just at the perfect time, because that was like a dad joke from hell. I'm so sorry. That's a song that I wrote about my grandmother, who I love so much, who passed away when I was 13, and she always wanted to be an opera singer. She was an opera singer, and so to hear her voice played in that song, and for you guys to have done that, felt, I felt things. I felt things, and I appreciate you so much. It's good. It's good to feel things, oh my gosh. It's not just me, my backing vocalists were crying too. It's not just me. You made all of us cry. Congratulations. I hope you're happy. So let's catch up on some things. It's been a while, right? You know? So I feel like it should be said that I haven't gotten to tour in a while. I haven't gotten to tour in a while, like, 4 or 5 years since I got to be in a room with beautiful, wonderful people like you singing words back to me and doing spontaneous acts of kindness like what you just did, holding up all those flashlights on your phone. And like, that's why we make music, because it's that amazing, profound feeling of writing something when you're like sitting on your bathroom floor in the middle of the night, or you're alone, or you feel very isolated a lot of the time when you're writing music. And then when I come out here and I feel joined by you guys in that way, it's just like, whoa. There's no other feeling like it. So I really, really missed you when we were away. And I'm so happy we get to be back with you now. It's very overwhelming for me, obviously. Oh, guys, for you to do that, like, you just, okay, so that song, Marjorie, that was a song that I wrote about my mom's mom, my grandmother. She was a singer too, and she passed away when I was 13, and I just know that, I know that my mom right now is just, like, bawling, and has been for the solid last 5.5 minutes, and I love you guys so much. That was so meaningful and so special. Thanks for doing that. That was beautiful. I haven't gone to play here in years. It's been a long time, and some things have happened. We've added some musical members to the family, haven't we? Their names are Lover, Folklore, Evermore, and last but not least, Midnight. And we've had a lot go on in terms of the world changing. There was a pandemic we all went through, and there were like all these very serious conversations and very real consequences in everyone's lives, and we really didn't know. If live music was going to be a thing. Honestly, that was the conversation. And there were so many more important things to think about that I just kind of put it out of my head, to be honest, because I love you so much, and connecting with you in this way, like being in the same room with you, that is a feeling unlike anything else that has ever happened to me in any other situation or scenario in my life. Like this feeling right now that I have. So I decided not to think about it, and I just decided, I'm gonna try to connect with them in any way that I can that isn't live music, right? Like, I'm gonna just write and put out as many albums as I possibly can to try to communicate with them and try to connect with them. But there were moments when I would write a song and I would think, I really, really wish I could play this for them. I really wish that we could be in a room together and we could all sing Champagne Problem. Thanks for doing that. That was beautiful. I haven't gone to play here in years. It's been a long time, and some things have happened. We've added some musical members to the family, haven't we? Their names are Lover, Folklore, Evermore, last but not least, Midnight. And you know, we've had a lot go on in terms of the world changing. You know, there was a pandemic we all went through, and there were like all these very serious conversations and very real consequences in everyone's lives, and we really didn't know if live music was going to be a thing. Honestly, that was the conversation, and there were so many more important things to think about that I just kind of put it out of my head, to be honest, because I love you so much, and connecting with you in this way, like being in the same room with you, that is a feeling unlike anything else that has ever happened to me in any other situation or scenario in my life. Like this feeling right now that I have. So I decided not to think about it, and I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna try to connect with them in any way that I can that isn't live music, right? Like I'm gonna just write and put out as many albums as I possibly can to try to communicate with them and try to connect with them. But there were moments when I would write a song and I would think, you know, I really, really wish I could play this for them. I really wish that we could be in a room together and we could all sing Champagne Problem. But a few years ago I decided to re-record my entire first 6 albums. And the coolest thing about that, you know, that was something I did because I wanted to reclaim my art. Since I was a teenager, I wanted to own my work. I wanted to own the music that I've written. And the coolest thing that happened with that was like, you know, when I first said that I was going to do it, you had a lot of people kind of saying that's definitely not going to work. And so it was something I knew I was doing because it was just a passion project, right? Like you do something just because it's important to you, and then you guys stepped in and you're like, hold on, wait. No, we want to own her version of her albums. We have your back. So much. It's like I'll never stop thanking you for that. It's just the most unbelievable thing. So in summation, you guys are the best ever, and I'm so lucky that you guys wanted to be at a show here tonight on a Sunday night, even though the weather threatened it to not happen. And I would very much like it if we could all join our voices and sing Champagne Problems together. That's really the most incredibly personal song that you could have done that for. That's a song called Marjorie. It's about my mom's mom, my grandmother, who passed away when I was 13. And you decided to do that, which was beautiful. It's so beautiful. You know, I just like this. You know, this was. Pennsylvania's where my childhood happened, you know, that's where like all my imagination, daydreaming, running around, creating dramatic scenarios in my head that I would then write later. That's when all this happened for me. So like, that's also all my memories with my grandmother Marjorie happened in Pennsylvania. So it's just like, just thank you. That's all I'm trying to say is thank you. Gotten to play for you or be back in Pennsylvania in 5 years, I think. That is crazy. And we have some things to catch up on. There's obviously a million things that have happened to every single one of us in here, but just from my end of things, like welcomed 4 new members to the musical family, didn't we? Yeah. Our eldest is named Lover. And then came Folklore. Then there's Evermore. And then our beloved youngest. That's Midnights. And you have been so beautifully supportive of all of these albums of new material that I put out. And I appreciate it so much. You know, you are being here and getting to look out into a crowd and seeing you sing the words back to me of songs that I wrote when I was in very isolated, lonely moments oftentimes. It's something that has helped heal me as I've grown up. It's something I've relied on since I was probably, I started playing live when I was like 12. So that's a long time. And so, along came the pandemic and so many more important and more crucial elements were at play, right? Than what's the future of live music. So I just wouldn't let myself think about that. I wouldn't let myself think about the fact that the conversations going in my industry were that we may never really get to play shows like this ever again. And because it was too hard to think about. That was my coping mechanism for ever since I was a child, was I write my feelings down and then I get to sing them with you, and then eventually I feel better. So I decided, if I can't hang out with them in person, if I can't see them, if I can't dance with them, if I can't sing with them and play and all the things that we do were in this scenario, I'm just gonna write as many songs as I possibly can. I'm gonna put out as many albums as I possibly can. Keep this connection going. And so that's what I did. But every once in a while I'd get these, breakthrough, intrusive daydreams of what it might be like if I ever were to find myself back in this beautiful stadium with you and we were to sing a song like Champagne Problems. It's stunning that just seeing you all do that. You guys have light up bracelets on, but that was not light up bracelets. That was you guys just deciding to put your phones up and make something so beautiful. I appreciate it so much. Because, performing here, so close to where I grew up, that's where so many of my, core memories come from of, I was just singing, the song Marjorie that I was just singing is about my grandmother who passed away when I was 13. And all of the memories that I have of her took place really close to where we are tonight, here in Pennsylvania. So for you guys to do that, it felt was really meaningful. I am from PA, so we're humble. We don't brag a lot. We know that's annoying. But I have to brag about one thing, which is the amazing opening acts that we have on the Eras Tour. So I'd like to call attention to them because I'm so grateful to them for wanting to be on this tour. You started off your night hearing an amazing singer-songwriter from Nashville who I'd absolutely just love. Her name is Gail. Give it up for Gail. And then I feel sort of like a contest winner because one of my favorite artists ever is on this tour. So will you please show the honor, respect, admiration, and freaking out that Phoebe Bridgers deserves? I haven't toured in probably 5 years, so it's been a long time since I've gotten to see you. Too long, that's too long, but there was some stuff that happened that prevented me from coming, to be fair. But in the meantime, we welcomed 4 new musical members to our family, didn't we? And their names are Lover, folklore, evermore, and midnights. And you've been so beautifully, beautifully supportive of these albums. It makes me so grateful and excited to get to play with you, because I really missed you so much. And there was a time when, you know, my entire industry was talking about how we didn't know if we were going to get to do this live music thing, and this, you know, us connecting and singing together and dancing together and being in the same place. We didn't know if that was going to come back. And so, you know, I decided over the pandemic that I was just going to make as many albums and write as many songs as possible to try to stay connected to you. And I tried not to think about the idea of how scary it was to think about not playing live with you. But there were some times when I write a song and I just think, man, I'd really love to play Champagne Problems in a stadium. That song that I just sang is called Marjorie, and it's a song that I wrote about my grandmother, my mom's mom. So you guys just all telepathically deciding to put your flashlights on your phone on during that song on Mother's Day. Oh my God, what are you doing? That was so beautiful. You know, I'm probably going to talk about the fact that it's Mother's Day more than one time, because we have to, right? I mean, like, I honestly, okay, so I've been playing shows since I was like 13, and so that's like, you know, that's 20 years of my life of looking out into crowds and getting to connect with you in that way. And some of the most beautiful stories that I've heard, you know, throughout this tour, the Eras tour, is people saying, you know, my mom brought me to your show, and now I'm bringing my kid to your show. And it's just the most special, wonderful thing. You have like multi-generations coming to these concerts, and you know, getting to share these sort of memories with you and build them over 20 years is like, it's been really special for me to see these bonds between mothers and their children, and mothers and their mothers. And when I say mother, I mean, like, I think that there are a million ways you can mother someone and be mother, don't you think? Yeah! You know, a lot of people have like complicated relationship with the word mother, or maybe, you know, directly just in a confusing place with it. But I think, you know, today it's a really amazing thing to think about. Whoever has mothered you in any type of way has been sort of like a guide for you, or someone who has loved you unconditionally, someone who has imparted wisdom on your life, and thinking about how you can do that for someone else, you know? Anyway, Mother's Day is awesome. My mom's my best friend. I'm obsessed with my mom, so this is not the last year of Mother's Day. Also, like, I can't, what's that thing you guys have been saying online? You're always just like, mother is mothering. Which I think you mean in a totally different context than Mother's Day, but I just thought of it because it made me think of the word that you use a lot, and you're like, turning it into a verb. Like, good for you, that's cool. So we have a lot to catch up on because I haven't toured in 5 years. That's insane, that's ridiculous. It's not completely my fault. There was a pandemic. But, you know, when we couldn't tour and when we couldn't put, you know, a stage up and I couldn't look into your eyes and sing and dance and bop and vibe with you, I just figured, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna write as much music as I possibly can, and I'm gonna connect with them in any way that I can. So, like, why that means so much to me, like, and why my mom's, like, crying somewhere in the stadium, cause you did that, is that song, Marjorie, is actually a song I wrote about my grandmother, Marjorie, who passed away when I was 13, my mom's mom. And she was a singer, and so for you know, we actually have her voice playing in the stadium during that song. So for her to be singing in this stadium, and you to be doing that, really stunning of you to do that. So, you know, I don't like to brag about stuff, but don't we have amazing opening acts on the Eras tour? I mean, seriously, we really do. It's insane. So I would like to call attention to how amazing they are, because I'm really lucky they wanted to tour with me. So you started off the evening seeing an amazing singer-songwriter who, the first time I saw her live, it just blew me away, and I asked her to be on the tour. Give it up again for Gail. Yeah! And then I feel like I have the best, either like the best luck ever, or I won a contest or something, because I cannot actually believe that I get to say that one of my favorite artists ever, Phoebe Bridgers, is on the Eras tour. I am so excited about that actually, I know she's in this stadium right now, so will you do it again but louder for Phoebe Bridgers? Foxborough does it. So guys, it's been a while since I played here, and kind of a while since I played anywhere before this tour. Things happen in the world to keep us apart, but we're back together now. It's great, you and I. And you know, during the pandemic, there were a lot of questions about the future of live music, you know, like, were we gonna get to do this again? Were we gonna get to hang out together in a stadium? And rather than thinking about that, because, you know, some things are too sad, I decided, instead of thinking about whether or not we're ever gonna get to be together again in a stadium, I'm just gonna try to connect with them in any way that I possibly can. So I just started writing tons of music, and I was just like, I'm gonna put as many albums as I can out and try to still stay connected with them. So that's what I did. And so we have 4 new members of our musical family that I would like to acknowledge. We have our eldest, Lover. We had Folklore. And then the lovely, lovely era that we are currently in, which is Evermore. And then we have the baby, Midnight. So I think that, you know, instead of thinking about not touring again, I wrote lots of songs, but there were certain occasions where I couldn't help but daydream about what it would be like to be in this room with you again. Well, is it a room if it doesn't have a roof? I'm gonna go with in this gargantuan stadium with you again, singing and dancing and bopping and vibing with you. Like I remember after I wrote a song called Champagne Problems, I was thinking, I really want to play that live with them. Strong emotions. Oh my God. Do you know how beautiful wonderful that was for me to experience that with all of you just then? Wow. You know, I just have to say, like, the first time that I ever experienced a rain show, it was in this stadium. 73 years ago. No, it was a long time ago, but it was the first time I'd ever experienced a rain show, and the whole day I remember, I think I was 19 or 20. The whole day they were like, it's gonna rain, and my team and I, we really didn't know what that meant for the crowd, because in my mind that meant the crowd is going to want to have a nice evening, therefore they are not going to want to get rained on the whole night, right? You'd think that's the way that it works. They're gonna leave, and they're gonna go find a nice way to spend their evening, instead of like being on this 3-hour water slide adventure with me. And the thing that was so crazy for my mind to experience that night of that very first rain show was the lesson that I learned that I've taken with me ever since, which is that the fans and crowds in the New England, Boston, Foxborough, Massachusetts area do not care if it rains. In fact, that kind of makes it more fun for you, as it would appear. So it makes it more fun for us because, you know, we just know that you guys are wild. You guys are just wild. You guys are up for it. And I love you so much for that. Thank you. So it's been about like just, you know, just telepathically deciding amongst yourselves to turn the entire stadium into just a sky full of beautiful stars via your phone flashlights. That got me. Like, you know, it's just sometimes, and by sometimes I mean a lot of the time, when I'm doing these shows, like, I just want you to know this is not, I don't think that this is normal in any way. Like, the experience that we're having right now with 70,000 of us all having the same experiences together. It's so deeply abnormal in the best way. It's like, it's not lost on me. There's not like a second on this stage where I'm thinking of anything else. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, this tour is so, I just wish I wish I could explain it. I wish I could verbalize to you how special this tour has been to me, and having an experience with you like the one that we just had and the ones that we're going to continue to have together for the rest of the night. I'm just really, really grateful for you. And, you know, it's one of those things that, I've been touring since I was, you know, like traveling to sing for people since I was about 12 or 13. So I think that was actually sort of baked into my coping mechanism skills. Like as a very young child, I processed things and learned to deal with things by writing songs about my most intense feelings, and then getting to stand on a stage and sing them to people, and the validation of someone kind of making eye contact with me and maybe even just like nodding and being like, yeah, I felt that way too. That makes you feel so much less alone. You know, and I think that was my way of like processing life. And then the pandemic happened, and it was like, you know, the conversation in my industry was, we don't know if touring is gonna, we don't know what that looks like in the future, if it's gonna happen at all anymore, or if, you know, we would ever be able to get 70,000 people in a room or a stadium ever again, you know? And it's been 5 years since I've gotten to tour, and to get that feeling that I grew up with of connecting with you and and then feeling better. So when the pandemic happened, I just remembered thinking, okay, I'm not going to focus on the uncertainty of whether we can do shows anymore after this. I'm just not going to think about it. It's too sad. What I am going to do is I'm going to just write as many albums as I possibly can. And I'm going to connect with them in the way that I am allowed to and is safe to. So that's what I did. I made a lot of music in the 5 years that I haven't been able to tour and see you guys. So I would like to acknowledge those albums now. Those albums were, first we had Lover. Then we had Folklore. And currently we are right in the middle of Evermore. Last but not least, we have Midnight. And you know, when I was writing Evermore, there was one song that I wrote, and I just thought, you know, it's impossible not to think about how cool this would be to sing in a stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. And that song was called Champagne Problems.